Hey everyone, Lauren here, and I am on location at the beautiful Hatha Yoga in Hey everyone, Lauren here, and I am on location at the beautiful Hatha Yoga in San Diego, California. They offer awesome yoga, Pilates, bar, and TRX classes. So if you happen to be in Southern California, definitely check them out. Today, we are going to be doing a full-length beginner Pilates workout. So this will really take you thoroughly through all the moves, make sure you got them cleaned up, and provide some good toning and calorie burning at the same time. So let's go ahead and get started. Lying down on your back, you want to make sure that you are properly set up. So that's the most important part to begin with. So your shoulders are down and away from your ears. You're firmly pressing your arms into the mat, because what that's going to do is open up the chest so you get that nice, getting rid of the hunchback shoulders. And then if you open your legs the width of the mat and just simply glide them back together, it will just naturally, bring you into your center line. So take a regular deep breath in, nothing fancy, just inhale, think about your breath expanding laterally through your rib cage. Exhale. As you exhale, think about not only your abdominals just blowing out and sucking in, but that they're also vacuuming up. So you don't shorten your waistline, you get that nice scoop in from your stomach all the way to your belly button. Take a couple of regular deep breaths here while I kind of just explain the anatomy. You want to make sure everything is squared off. So your shoulder should go to your shoulder, down to your hip, and back across. That's your box. So that's really important alignment-wise. And then most specifically, remember, we really want to work that powerhouse, which is right below your belly button, corseted all the way around, right below your navel. So that's what's going to really hug in all of the muscles and give you a nice firm foundation. Now, on your next exhale, using that whole in and up deal that we just talked about, you'll exhale, drag your heels into your bottom, so you're engaging your stomach, and then go ahead and hug your knees into your chest nice and tight. So you give them a good squeeze. This will help release any lower back tension. If you want to rock side to side, that's great too. Whatever feels good for you today. Starting with your 100. So at this point, you've probably been exposed to it at some point. There's lots of options. We'll do a beginner version today. So arms hover at hip height, head, neck, and shoulders come up, look right at your belly button. That's step one. So you want to keep your eye on your navel. Now, leg options. If this is hard enough, you can keep your legs in tabletop. That's great. If you want to challenge yourself, send your legs up to 90 degrees with your feet in Pilates stance, heels together, toes apart. If all of this is way too much on your back or anything going on, you can always do the version with your feet down, and that's great too. So for today, I'll do the middle one, the tabletop. So from here, you'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale all the air out of your lungs. So you're literally pumping the blood through your body to help warm up your core, get your body nice and heated. This is 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Be mindful you're not throwing your head backwards. That puts a lot of strain on the neck. 3 more sets. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Maybe you straighten your legs. Inhale. Exhale. Last set. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Hug both knees into your chest. Look side to side. Of course, if you have any neck injuries, you're welcome to leave your head down for the whole duration. Otherwise, place your feet flat on the mat, hips width distance. So this is more narrow than you're thinking. Your guidelines are those 2 bony points, your hips, and then it goes to your knee and your second and third toe. Walking your feet out a little bit away from your bottom. If it's too hard, you'll walk it farther. If it's too easy, you'll walk them closer. Hands find the backs of your legs for your modified roll-up. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, that same sensation of the stomach going down, you're going to use your hands to assist you and walk your hands up just about a third way. And don't be afraid, you can hold on. You don't want to hunch. Shoulders are down, stomach is in, and then just walk right back down the legs. Now from here, you can always add on, or if that's as high as you can go for today, great. Take a deep breath. Exhale, walk your hands up, ultimately trying to come up all the way, but only come up as long as the feet stay down. That's the most important part. roll it down bone by bone. Wherever you are is fine. And if you want to kind of practice, I'll just kind of talk as we go through 3 more of these. At home, to get a little more range of motion, you can place your feet underneath a heavy piece of furniture like your sofa. Just be mindful that you're not just hoisting yourself up when you do that. They should really just act as a little assistant. In a lot of studios, they'll have the mats with the strap across them, same concept. Roll it back. This is a great warm-up for the spine as you engage your abdominals. Last one. Curl it up, and if you do have, you're gonna come all the way up this time. So if you weren't able to come up, either rock yourself up or, like I said, use the piece of furniture. And then separate your feet a little bit, same hips width actually. And then we're gonna work the reverse direction. So first I like to get a little bit of space in your spine since we just kind of rounded. So holding onto your shins, don't be afraid to sit up as tall as you can, pull your shoulders back, get a little bit of extension. And now you have a couple of arm options here. Easier would be holding onto the backs of your legs. Harder would be arms out. So we'll start here, sit up nice and tall. And then just like someone punched you right below your belly button, you are going to curl it back just a third to half of the way, that's it. And then come back up. So right in the spot where your stomach kicks in. Sit up tall. Exhale, curl under, your pelvis scoops under. Maybe you try letting go with the arms. That's great. If that's too much, hold on. Stomach pulls in tighter. Now from here, if this is hard enough, you'll stay put. Otherwise, lift the arms up a couple inches. Notice I'm not going crazy. And then go back down. So lift and lower. Lift and lower. So, you might say, why are my arms moving here? Because really the arms are a direct correlation right into your tummy. So you always want to teach your extremities to move from your core. That's what the strong foundation is. Holding on to the backs of your legs, curl it back up. Now we'll just kind of play around with a few different arm variations. So once again, you have options. You'll curl it back and hold. Really focus on pulling that belly button down. If you're a little more adventurous today, you're going to make fist. And then just alternate basic boxing. So a little history here. Joseph Pilates was a big boxer back in the day and coached a lot of boxers as well with his exercise mythology. So we're just going to do some basic boxing. Once again, yes, your arms are strong and long, but it's really dialing into your stomach. And then hold back on and come back up. Sit up nice and tall, and last time all together. So we're trying to get that stomach fired up. Curl it back, make sure you're protecting your low back. Hold it here. This time arms are out, and you're just gonna once again make fists, because that's gonna fire up the backs of my arms, and trace little circles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse the circles, make them nice and strong. Balance, curl your stomach and increase that C-curve position. Hold it, and this time with control, slowly roll down. So no crash landings, don't just flop backwards. And good. You might have had a little stiffness in your hip flexors. Pull both knees in, releasing that area, releasing the low back. And let's work on getting some length in the back of the legs. Keep the right knee into you. Left leg goes long. Send the right leg up. So wherever you can hold, everyone's gonna be different. If you have really tight hamstrings, just hold on to the back of the thigh, and that's great. Ultimately, you wanna reach closer to the ankle. Now, what just happened, and I don't know if you can see it on this side, is my hip kind of cranked up to do that, so I don't want that. So really make sure that hip is matching the other side, and then you might not hold as high, and that's okay. Holding as high as you can without compromising the alignment. Flex your toes so the heel actively reaches up, the hip pushes down. Everything in Pilates is a two-way stretch, every single move. So heel pushes up, couple breaths here. It might be a little tight and cranky in the back of your knee. It's totally normal. You have two major muscle groups that insert through there, both your calves and your hamstrings. If you want to add a couple little ankle rolls, work out some of the kinks, that's great too. Now, from here, arms go back down, leave the legs up, single leg circles. So once again, I'm checking to make sure my hips, that bottom part of the box, is squared. And then keep these small. Leg goes up to your nose, that's the stomach component, across the body, inner thighs, down and around. So if you've ever seen one of those Pilates magic circles, up, or maybe just like the size of a basketball or beach ball, that's about the size you're working with. Up, across, and around. 2 more. Up, across, and around, like your toes could reach the ceiling. all the way through center. Now reverse it. Up, out, and across. If you're really tight through those hip flexors doing these circles, once again, just slightly bend the knee of the leg that's on the ground, and that will help loosen that area up. 2 more. Up, out, and across. Last one. Up to your nose, out, and around. Good. Give that knee a good hug into your chest, and we'll switch out to the other side. Reach that right leg long out of your hip socket. Pull the left knee in tight, and then once again, coming up here. So it might be easier to see on this side. If I just kind of cheat, my hip really hikes up here. So I want to make sure the hips are squared first, alignment's everything, and then pull the leg towards you. So if you really stay nice and square, it's not so much like, can I touch my toes? Can I pull the leg as close as I can to me? You're elongating from the hip up. Heel reaches, toes down. So when I first started doing single leg circles, I kind of didn't get it, to be honest with you. I was like, we're swinging our leg in the air in circles. What you're doing is you're teaching pelvic stability here. And also you'll feel it, if you really do it properly, in your stomach and also your inner and outer thighs. So we'll kind of go into that with these next round of circles. Couple breaths, and good. Now arms go down. So like I said, on the way up, this leg connects into my left obliques. And then as it goes across, I'm thinking about that heel going towards the opposite shoulder and around. It doesn't have to be, big swooping circles. Up, across, and around. So you're teaching, just like we did earlier, your leg to move from your powerhouse, from that lower core. Last one in this direction, up, across, and around, and reverse. And if you're pretty athletic and you have tight quads or just kind of stiff, make sure that that knee stays slightly bent until you really can feel it in the stomach. If you're only feeling it in your legs, I would soften the leg that's lying down. One more in this direction, up, out, and across. Hug the knee in. Good. Now hug both knees in. We're going to rock up to a seated position. If you're feeling ambitious, you can do one of those roll-ups we did earlier. Now, rolling like a ball. This is a great spinal massage. So we're back in the same position, that C-curve position. You're just going to simply roll back a little bit. Stomach hollow, shoulders are relaxed, elbows soft. Now from here, take that, I'll do the left leg first. Left leg pulls an inch closer to your bottom and then places back down. So nothing revolutionary, but you should now feel a direct hit to that left oblique. Same thing on the right. So now your balance should be a little shaky depending on what's going on. So you're in this little ball shape. Carefully lift your feet an inch off. Now, keeping the shape, what I'd like this to look like is you rock back halfway and then you use your abdominals to come back up. And you can kind of just do the first couple, work the kinks out. You should feel this deep in your tummy. So you don't want to use momentum. These are the 2 screw-ups that I see happen, or the 2 cheats. One thing that I see happen a lot are that people come back and then they kick their legs to come back up. So that doesn't really do very much. The other thing I see a lot is you rock back and you're doing a really good job, but then all of a sudden you have to balance. So you lift your chest and you flatten out your pelvis. So we want to keep that scoop. Let's do 3 more. Really good for your spine, really good for your tummy. And then as this gets easier, you can start to make your ball smaller. You can hold on to your shins. The main thing is you're trying to keep the integrity of the space between your knee and your shoulders. It can be bigger, it can be smaller, but it has to stay the same. All right, rolling down back onto your back, getting into the series of 5. So these are the 5 abdominal exercises that Joseph designed with active stretching throughout. First one, single leg pull. Pull being the key word. Knees are in. Right hand comes to your right ankle and left hand comes to the right knee. Now this is actually super important. And people think that we're being picky, but if you do the reverse hands, then it tweaks your knee out of alignment and it pulls through the obliques and not uniform alignment. So be mindful that you do outside hand, outside ankle, which might take a little bit of practice in the beginning, that's okay. Left leg starts at 90 degrees. When you send your legs in the air, 90 degrees is the most conservative. As it goes lower, it gets harder. If your back pops up, you have now gone too far. A, it hurts, and B, I just splayed my belly out, so it's not even like I'm getting a good ab connection. So I would say stay between 90 and 45 for today. Head comes up, look at your belly button, hold it here, tummy pulls in, shoulders relax, switch legs. Now we're gonna pull twice. We're gonna pull harder, and then pull harder. Because a lot of times I teach class and I see people just kind of like hold it and hold it. It's truly a stretch. So it's pull, pull a little closer to you, pull, pull a little closer to you. And then depending on how tight you are, you can do this with the 2 pulls like we're doing right now. And then in a second, we're gonna just switch to single. So just plain one single pull. Think like you're hitting archery targets. You're pushing and pulling. It's not a cyclical motion. You're actively pushing, pulling. Last one on the left, and then both knees come in, head can go down. Always feel free to look side to side in between. In the beginning stages of Pilates, I know it can be a little tough on the neck. That part will get better. Double leg stretch, same family. We'll do a practice round first with your head down. So the motion is, and there's breathing with this, inhale, arms and legs go up. On the exhale, you swoop your arms around and then return right back to that ball shape. Once again, the wider the range of motion, the harder it gets. So head peeks up. Inhale, arms and legs up. Arms circle around, hug the knees back in. So inhale, exhale. Inhale. Once again, you're really hugging tight, 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 tight. Don't let the ribs or the tailbone pop off the mat. Those are your anchor points as you come around. Let's do 5 more. Inhale, keep the back on the mat. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, knees come into you. 3 more. Reach and around. Of course, you can play with the leg height. Higher, easier, lower, harder. All the way around. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale, come back around. Head goes down, look side to side. Okay, those first 2 were active stretches for that hip flexor area, which can get really tight from sitting, driving, cardio activity. The next one is a stretch for your hamstrings. So back to that, this can look familiar, that same leg stretch, the hip is down, we're reaching on the calf or ankle, and then just the left leg floats away a little bit, nothing crazy. So from here, bring your head, neck, and shoulders up, tummy hollows, and then once again, we're going to do the double pull. So pull closer to you and change. Pull closer. So it's not just like a boing boing, it's pull a little farther for the stretch. Pull, stretch. Pull, stretch. And the whole while, the temptations and the cheats here, what's going to want to happen is you're going to want to hang out back here, and that doesn't get into your stomach. So make sure you stay lifted as you change. And I know this is challenging in the beginning. Just do the best you can. Pull, 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 pull. Keep that lift. Pull, pull, stretch. We'll do 1 more set. Right, right, and left, left. Good. Knees come in. Look side to side. The next one, double straight leg stretch. Hands are going to stack one on top of each other right at the base of your skull. Elbows are wide, legs go up. Now, this is probably what I see in clients, the easiest one to cheat on, because we're all very strong in our legs and not so much in our bellies. So if you're here and your leg, I'm still talking, your legs are going crazy, just soften the knees. Keep your heels together, toes apart, so you get that slight release in the hip flexors. Head, neck, and shoulders come up. Look at your belly button. You want to stay pretty conservative here. Legs are just going to lower on a 3 count. Down, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. Lower, so it doesn't have to be big, especially if you have back injuries. Keep this extremely conservative. Lower a couple inches, lift. So you're working both lower and upper. Lower, your lower belly should start to shake, lift. And then the upper abs are what's keeping your head, neck, and shoulders up. So really, you should be able to kind of just hang out here without so much straining, holding on. Last time. Lower a couple inches, lift, and come back in. Good. Okay, we're going to start with your modified crisscross because I want to get more of a stretch out of it. So your feet are down, just like when we started. Now, opposite elbow to opposite knee. So let's pull your left knee into your chest. Right elbow is going to lift and try to meet it. Now, what I see happen here a lot, kind of like a bicycle crunch, is that people pull the knee in and they're like, look, I'm touching, I'm touching. You want to keep that hip down. You have to go to the knee, not the other way around, and that's what makes it hard. This back elbow is going to want to stretch back so you get the length. Hold it for another 3 counts, and then we'll change sides. Pull the right knee in, and then you go to the knee. Back elbow stretches, lift, twist, really working those obliques, and come back through center. Twist and hold it for 3, 2, 1, change. Twist and hold for 3, 2, 1, come through center. Now if that's challenging enough, you'll keep going with that version. Otherwise, going into full crisscross, both knees are in, twist like you did, and then send the opposing right leg out at a diagonal. Now you're gonna wanna forget about this leg and it ends up here and all that, so be mindful that it stays there. Twist and hold for 3, 2, 1, change. Hold for 3, 2, 1, change. 3, 2, 1, change. And a slower is harder. 3, 2, 1, change. Couple more here. Another fun fact, Joseph almost omitted this one from the series of 5 because he was sick of seeing people just mindlessly, do the bicycle crunches back and forth, and wanted you to really squeeze and wring out as much as you could. Last time, twist and hold, and release. Good. So by the end of those 5 exercises, you can rock yourself up. Your stomach should be fatigued. If it's not, you can start to increase your range of motion and really challenge yourself. If other things hurt, like your neck and your back and your hips, then you need to decrease the range of motion. So I want to sit this way. For spine stretch forward, your legs come out. Once again, if you're tight through your hips, I would sit on like a sofa pillow at home just to raise it up. It will relieve some of that pressure. You can also slightly soften the knees. Otherwise, heels push away, arms are out in front of you. Now, lifting up out of your waist. The way you do that is you got to squeeze your butt. Simple enough. So you're going to squeeze, lift. Because what happens here, what I see more often than not, are people are here and they kind of do this. And then I don't get very much length out of my back there. So lifting up, inhale. Exhale, drop your chin to your chest, tummy hollows like you're going over a coffee table as you reach past your toes, but I'm not collapsing. I'm, if anything, creating more space through this mid-upper back area, tummy hollow, super active, and re-step. Now, if you're extremely tight, we'll do the Joseph variation. Hands are here, lift up, exhale, drop your head. This might be enough for you today. Slowly walk your fingers forward to wherever you can. Stretch that upper middle part of your back. So it's very different than a forward fold. We're trying to get this area of your back. And then restack. Let's do it one more time. You can do whichever version feels better for you today. Lift up, engage your bottom, fill your lungs with air. Exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Reach it forward like someone's lassoing back your waistline. You reach forward, you pull back at the same time. There's your two-way stretch, stomach hollows, and good. Very good. All right, so up until now, we've done a lot of curving, a lot of flexion work. Now let's do the opposing, your extension work on your stomach. So these next 2 exercises are called Swan and single leg kicks. Now, just like when you're on your back, take a second, make sure that you are centered off, because we usually don't know where we are in space. Now, from here, let's talk about the setups. You're lying down, you have 2 scarecrow arms. Your shoulders are down, just like a goalpost. Now, if I'm just hanging out at home or on the couch, obviously the tendency is I just kind of flatten out here. So I want my tummy to be active first. You're gonna pull your abs in, and pull your hip bones to your ribcage. So now it's almost like I could just drive a little Matchbox car right underneath your stomach. So your bottom is gonna engage. That's what's gonna help pull the hips forward. Stomach is in. And then you can just look straight ahead. Now from here, pull your shoulders down your back, hold it, stomach pulls in tighter, and now maybe you look ahead and you lift just an inch. Just an inch, yep. So it's nothing crazy. It's not a push-up. It's not how bendy can we get into our back and just cram back there. It's an upper back exercise and then lower back down. Now we're gonna do a total of 3. I wanna show you some of the cheats I see. I see people come up like this, and all that does is cramp into your neck, and it's like a bad version of a push-up. The other thing that I see are that people are very flexible, which is great, and then they kind of take advantage of that. They just come up, and they hang out, and they kind of space out. So all I'm doing is just cramming into my lower back here for no reason and hanging my belly out. So let's do it properly. Shoulders are down, stomach is in, engage your bottom, and then you can play with range of motion. You might be able to come up a little higher as long as you can keep all those pieces in. You're pressing your hips and your pubic bone into the mat, shoulders are down. You should be getting fatigued in your upper back, and then lower. And you can switch cheeks from side to side to just even out the neck. Stomach is in, one more time. And also, you want to keep your legs together unless your lower back that really bothers it, in which case you can separate your legs just a little bit, and that's fine too. So either way, stomach is in, shoulders back, press back, stomach in, lift. Strengthening your upper back, super important because everything in life hunches us forward. And then lower down. Now let's just take a breather. You're going to sit back onto your heels, similar to a child's pose, like you would do in a yoga class, but you want to hollow your belly off your thighs. So you're not splotting backwards, you're lifting to really get more stretch in that upper back. Feels so, so good to get some oxygen and blood flow going through there. Okay, now in that same family, come right back out. You're going to come onto your forearms. Make 2 strong fists for your single leg kicks. Elbows are directly underneath. Now, this one I feel like kind of gets thrown away quite a bit because you don't really know what's going on, and I know I didn't for a long time. So what you want is to not just hang out here in your shoulders, collapse your belly, kick the leg around a few times. What I want is first, really make the strong fist, lift out of your shoulder girdle. So before you add any part of the actual exercise, the kicking portion, you should be fatigued in your shoulders, your arms, and your chest opening. Your upper back working as if you could crack a walnut between those shoulder blades. Now let's take care and protect your low back. Think about an egg right below your belly button. Do not break your egg. So you can't let go here. Stomach, if you engage your bottom, once again, press that pubic bone into the mat. Don't break your raw egg. Now you're actually ready to do the exercise, and you should already kind of be tired and working at this point. So the right leg double kicks your bottom. Same with the left. Kick, kick, good. And then you'll just alternate 2 on each side. The whole point of this is you're stretching your quad muscles, that front part, and then you're also engaging the back body. You're squeezing your bottom, you're squeezing your hamstrings, shoulders are back, stomach is in, and squeeze. Every single part of your body should be crazy active. You don't want to leave anything out. Squeeze, squeeze, and good. Once again, let's sit back for a child's pose. Tummy hollows, stretch, and we'll work on your modified shoulder bridge. So flipping back over onto your back, really good for spinal articulation. Your feet are hip width parallel, and they're pretty close to your bottom on this one. You don't have to be as close to where my fingertips are, but you do want them a little bit closer than before. All right, so from here, shoulders are down, arms are engaged. Now that you've really practiced on opening up that chest, from here, we're going to talk about different positions of your pelvis. So if you think about the 2 hip bones, the bony points, they're like headlights or flashlights going right up to the ceiling. So first, just take your flashlights and shine them in your face. So if you'll notice, I'm in a pelvic tuck here. So what that means is my stomach is scooped in. I already feel my glutes and my hamstrings and all of that active. And then just release back to neutral. So that's how your own anatomy is set up. Totally great, neutral spine, the whole thing. Now, one more time, tip, scoop. So you're squeezing your bottom, you're engaging your hamstrings, and then release. This time we're going to add on. So tip your pelvis to you, the bottom engages. Now, 1 vertebrae at a time. First, your tailbone lifts, then your lower back, then your middle back, then, if it's possible, your upper, until you're this nice straight line from your knees to your shoulders. You're not, especially if you are pretty flexible, it's a little bit different than a yoga practice where you try to get your ribs out. This one, ribs stay tight to the body, so we get a little more stomach engagement out of it. Hold it here. We're actually going to hold it because I think you'll notice a few things going on. Some of you are already annoyed that we're still here. It's a lot of inner thighs and a lot of legs. What's going to want to happen is your knees usually end up here. I want them right in line with the hip bone. So that's going to engage the inner thighs, engage the booty. Couple of breaths here. And when we go to roll down, you can't just flop down. You have to scoop to roll down. Articulate, articulate. Each vertebrae hits one at a time like you are lying out a strand of pearls. Tailbone is the very last thing to hit the mat. Okay, so let's do that again. Tip your pelvis one bone at a time. Scoop to roll up, scoop to roll up, scoop, tip your pelvis, roll, roll, roll. Hold it here. Now don't just kind of hang out here. Really actively squeeze your bottom. Think about crushing a beach ball in between your knees. Hold it, stomach is in. And one vertebrae, tuck and roll down. Scoop and roll down, scoop and roll down. If it feels like there are chunks of your spine that all want to just land at the same time, stop, take a deep breath, try to get some oxygen and blood flow going through that area, and then roll the rest of the way down. One more time just to kind of roll through it, tip and roll up, and tip and roll down. So really just working through any kind of stiffness that's in your back. Excellent. Okay, moving on, side leg kicks. You're going to turn over onto your mat, onto your side. Line your body up along the very back side of the mat. So it'll give you some reference point. Your hand is going to go right behind your head here. And then both legs, make sure that you're lined up behind the back of the mat first. So I usually just kind of take my hand and windshield wiper to make sure I'm all matched up in the back side. Now, the hand can come down like a seatbelt right in front of you so you don't feel unstable. And then your feet come to the front part of the mat in your Pilates stance. So looking down, heels together, toes apart. Think about this top leg stretching out of the hip socket. That part's important. Hands down. Now, starting with front and back. Top leg comes up hip height. So it's all matching with this part right here. Slightly externally rotate. That's going to fire up this great little back of the leg, booty area. That's super important to tone. And then the leg kicks forward to you just a little bit, and then it kicks to the back. Now, only go as far as this will stay the same. Because I know you can come forward if you flop into it, you can go back if you fall backwards. So only give me as much range of motion as you can hold. Now, kick to the front and stay there. So we're going to add the double kick. What that means, imagine this hip pushing back just an inch. And then you have room for the leg to really come into you, engaging your stomach an inch. Same thing on the way back. Go back as far as you think you can. Hold. Now squeeze that cheek, that top cheek as much as you can, and the leg will go back another inch. Once again, it doesn't have to be big, just whatever's in your range for today. So you go forward, kick a little bit farther, and then back, kick a little bit farther. Forward, kick, kick, back, squeeze, squeeze. Forward, we're going to do 3 more on the way up. It's a stomach engagement. On the way back, it's a booty engagement. 2 more. On the way up, it's a hamstring stretch. And on the way back, it's a hip flexor stretch. 1 more. All the way to the front. Kick, kick, back, squeeze, stretch. Good. Come back to the center. Heel on top of heel. All right. Straight up and down. So same thing, Pilates stance. Keep the hips stacked and the leg will just lift and lower. Now, if you are pretty flexible, people like to show off in class and they kick their leg up way high. But if you'll notice, I just changed my hip position there. So hips are forward, lift, squeeze lower. Lift, squeeze lower. And we'll do 10 of these. 3. The great thing about leg kicks, they're super effective for toning inner and outer thighs, more so than anything I've done in the fitness world in other genres. Lift. So, after doing this tape, if you want to get a little more, you can just sit here in front of the television or, throughout the day and add these leg kicks in. They're really, really effective. 2 more. Last one. Hold it at the bottom. Your heels are together. Now, baby circles. Like you could strike a match with those 2 heels. You can probably barely see my leg moving, but if you really wrap and squeeze, there should be a lot of activity going on back here. 5, 6, 7, try to reach your big toe across the room. 8, 9, 10, reverse it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? Now, from here, you're going to make this circle a little bit bigger. Not much, like basketball size. Go up, around, pause at the heel. Up, around, pause at the heel. We're going to do 5, 3, and we're going to go at this pace. So if you're at home and you're just like zipping through them, unfortunately you have to go at this pace. 2 more, because that's where you get all the good stuff. Last one, and you'll really feel it in your bottom on the way back. So now reverse it, go back, up and around, back, up, and around. 3 more. Trace that basketball, nothing crazy. Pausing at the heel each time so you're not just using momentum. It's really stabilizing through the hips. Last time. As you come around, pause. All right, last set on this side. Little rainbows, or rotators really. So your toe taps down in front and your heel taps behind. Toe, heel. This series is also really good if you've had like a hip replacement or you have weaker, achy hips. You want to strengthen the muscles around the bone, really effective. If you do have a hip injury, you'll just want to really be mindful that you do little range of motion, not crazy big range of motion. 2 more here. Alternating, tapping, last one, toe and heel. Okay, now flip over onto your back before we do the other side. We're going to squeeze a little bit of obliques in because we don't really get a lot of the oblique stuff in the beginner workout besides the crisscross. So feet are together, knees are together here, and then stomach scoops in just like we started all at the beginning. Arms hover at hip height, head, neck, and shoulders come up, look right at your belly button. So we're right back in that small C curve. Now from here, since you know this position, you'll reach to your right heel, feel that pinch in your sides, come through center. Reach to the left, come through center. Right, center, left. So it's super small, but you should really feel a distinct pinching action. Left, right, and left. We're going to do 8 sets of these. Reach, reach, 3 more. Pinch. Make sure you're not going through the motions. 2 more. Make sure you're not neglecting those lower abdominals. Last set. Right and left. Good. Now, if you're at home, you can just roll over. I'm going to turn around just so you can see the other side for our leg kicks. Once again, lining yourself up along the very back side of the mat. So your spine is long all the way down to your tailbone. And then hips are stacked. Feet come to the front corner of the mat. Reach the top leg out of the hip socket. Top hand comes right across you on the mat. Leg lifts up hip height and find that external rotation. Really squeeze, wrap. From here, leg goes forward. Just kind of do the first one as a test run. And go back. Just kind of get a little range of motion here, nothing crazy. Now this time, go forward and pause. Like we said, anchor the hip. Use your stomach to pull the leg closer. And then same thing going back. Reach back, squeeze your bottom, and come through center. So it's forward, kick a little bit farther, back, kick a little bit farther. Forward, kick, kick, back, squeeze, squeeze. And you may notice one side's a little better or worse than the other. This side happens to be my weaker side. So it's harder to stay stable. And it's actually a lot of, I know we just talked about obliques, it is actually a lot of obliques in this exercise to keep you from flip-flopping all over the place. 2 more. And to the back, kick, kick. Last one, forward, kick, kick, back, squeeze, squeeze, okay? Come through center, back to your Pilates stance. Plane up and down. Only go as high as your hips will stay stable. Lift and lower. Think light as a feather on the way up, and then think heavy reach, squeeze on the way down. Lift, squeeze. And this is one of those, when I talked about the hip replacements, just come to here. Stay within that hip range if you have really weak or injured hips. Lift, squeeze, building up strength. 3 more. 2. Last one, hold it at the bottom. Baby circle, strike a match. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Tummy's engaged. 3, 2, reverse it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now our basketballs. Slow. Forward, up, around, pause. Forward, up, around, pause. Forward, up, around, pause. 2 more. Nice and controlled. So it's not about how big or how fast. Just carving out that outer thigh area. Reverse. Back and around. Don't skip on the back. So you're not making the letter D. You're squeezing your tush to get the leg behind you. 3 more and around. 2 more. Last one. And good. Last thing here. Rotators. Toe, heel like an arc. Toe, once again, my hips aren't flopping all over the place. Just the leg is moving within the hip socket. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one, and good. Okay, shake it out. Turn over onto your back so we can work on your modified teasers. From here, just give the legs a good hug, kind of rock side to side if you need to. If you have a little stiffness, you can always add in some leg stretches here. Otherwise, feet are flat on the mat, knees are together, feet are together. So modified teasers, these are really important before you go into the full deal. Left leg, I'm just going to start this way, extends up. So now I've got that inner thigh engagement, which I know is already tired from just doing the leg series. Arms are by your side. You'll take a deep breath in. On the exhale, reach long and down to come up into your modified teaser. So it's an extension of what we did in the beginning of class, and then you'll roll back down. Now, for a lot of people, this is really challenging, and you might just get to here and get stuck, and that might be okay for today, or you can hook your foot underneath a strap or a piece of furniture. Take a deep breath, exhale, reach it through, hold it here. Sometimes people say, oh, these are harder than the actual real teasers, which means that you are cheating in your real teasers. And take a deep breath. Make sure you're not coming up from here because you're going to get stuck. You're reaching long and down. Tummy pulls in. You work all aspects of your abdominals here. And come back down. Last time, deep breath. Exhale, reach it through. Hold it here. Chest is lifted. So my lower back is still slightly curved under and my chest is proud. Stomach in. Roll it back down. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other leg. Right leg extends. Hold it once again. If your heel is too close to your bottom, it's kind of harder than it needs to be. So just like a moderate range of motion. Deep breath on the exhale. Reach it through. Hold it at the top. Chest is lifted. And roll it back down. Take a deep breath. Stomach scoops in and engages as you come up. Nice proud collarbones. And roll it right back down. 3 more. Exhale, reach to come up. So you're trying to do 5 on each side and lower. Exhale. The breathing does help on these, so use it. That's 2. Roll down. As you roll down, you're reaching to your toes. There's the resistance. Last one. Reach it up. Hold it. Act like someone's holding your fingertips, and you have to pull them down, pull them down, pull them down with you. And good. All right. Knees are in. Let's look over onto your stomach for some swimming and plank work before we cool down. So on your stomach, we'll do the modified swimming. This is really good for strengthening the whole back side of your body, getting some stretch in the front. So you at home are going to rest your forehead down. I'm just going to lift mine so you can see what's going on. Stomach is in. Now, opposing limbs. You push your hips, engage your bottom into the mat. Right arm and left leg are going to lift. So opposite limbs. Now, more so than focusing on the lift, think about the reach. Reach, reach, and lower down. Like you're getting longer on those 2 sides. Same thing, other side. Left arm, right leg, lift, reach, 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 and lower. We're just going to do 5 slow motion swimming here. So, just taking it slower than we are is totally fine as well, or just omitting it is great too. So right arm, left leg, lift, and change. You can peek your head up out of the water. Look straight ahead a couple feet to keep your neck neutral. Alternate tummy pulls in. 2 more sets. Reach. Last set. Reach. And reach. And good. Okay. Hands go by your shoulders. Lift yourself up to do that same child's pose, counter stretching your spine in the opposite direction. You always want to work your back in both directions. Now, final here, planks. We're going to start super basic. You can always go longer at home or add more of these into the tape, and that's fine. So you're on your forearms, and I'm still kind of on my knees here. Stomach scoops in, tailbone tucks under. So I'm not sticking my tailbone backwards, but it scoops under. And then one leg at a time, I just lift my foot back, hold it here, lift out of your shoulders, engage your tummy so that the other foot can lift. So we're going to do a plain 10 seconds. Holding it here, be mindful you're not sinking into your low back. That hurts, not in a good way. And that you're also not cheating and shifting back. So shoulders are over your elbows, stomach is in. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Make your 2 strong fists. And then just rest the knees down. just as a little breather. Don't go all the way down because it's hard to come back up. Okay, one more time. Stomach is in, hold it here. If you want to get a little bit more advanced with it, you'll shift your weight forward, really engage everything. 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower the knees down, and then once again, sit back on your heels, stretch it out, stomach hollows, and then we'll cool down completely with seal. So seal kind of resembles rolling like a ball. It just has a little bit more movement to it, a little more fluidity. Now, the positioning I feel like kind of looks silly, but it does have a purpose. Your hands are going to thread through your ankles and hold on to the outside. So you may say, like, why are we sitting like this? There is a method to the madness. The reason being, in this position, it helps really stretch those shoulder blades over, that really tight, stiff part we get in our backs. Now we'll start with a couple plain rolls before we add the taps. So hover your feet off, just like rolling like a ball, and you'll simply rock back and rock back up. So it's a little more playful than you're rolling like a ball. And a couple like that, rock back, be mindful you don't roll into your neck, and then come up. Now the full exercise adds the taps. Once again, not to look silly, it does have a reason, you'll see why. The heels will tap 3, 2, 1, and then same thing back here, heels will tap 3, 2, 1, and come back up. Now the reason being is that it makes you balance back there, and you might have just experienced that. So 3, 2, 1, go back, 3, 2, 1, come up, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, hold it at the top, send your legs long out in front of you, hips are back, make sure you're up on your sits bones, reach your arms up, engage your bottom, lift with the collarbones as you come forward in a long spine, flex your toes, hold the stretch, being mindful of your low back. If you don't have any back injuries and your back is healthy, you can go ahead and drop the head, just being mindful you don't put too much pressure on the back, and then restack your spine, shoulders go down, and you are all finished.